All right, boys. You ready to roll?
Yes.
Because we have nothing going on right now in sports. Nothing.
I'm prepared to reply all.
Yo, you're going to hit reply all? Hayden, how are you, man? We haven't seen you in
I'm
forever.
good, man. I know. I've been away. Been away.
Are you going to sing for us at all or no?
No. It's
Just
early.
hum us-
I sang last night. It's early.
Hum us a couple bars.
Of what?
Just give me Fly Me to the Moon. Just a little bit.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
Are you kidding? We got the voice here. Yeah. Come on.
Come on. Let's give let's give a little.
Come on.
Let's give a little there. Come on. That's the way we do it.
All right, Nick. Let's start here. What did the Browns just do? Help me.
You're going to have to be more specific. They did two things this weekend that seemed to upset everybody.
Well, let's go with Shedeur Sanders first. I don't understand the whole notion of Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders in the same draft. I could live with one or the other, but I'm still trying to figure out why and what were they doing, and I'm just confused.
It's actually a genius plan because after they overdrafted Dylan Gabriel in the third round, taking Shedeur in the fifth round was like finally something that made sense. I hated the Dylan Gabriel pick. I think he is everything I've said about Shedeur being too small, nothing special about him physically. Dylan Gabriel's like that on steroids. Like he's shorter, his arm sucks more. He's also a left-hander. So by the time they got to Shedeur, there was okay. So I think what was interesting is because they went two running backs and two quarterbacks, I do think we missed out on the fact that we need to fix the offensive line too. But, I object to the Dylan Gabriel thing way more than the Shedeur Sanders thing.
My biggest problem with Dylan Gabriel is the left-handed thing.
Yeah.
I can't – I don't know what it is.
I'm sure – is there a Paul McDonald jersey anywhere out there?
Probably.
If we can find one of those, you'll love the left-handed jersey.
Probably.
Yeah, I've seen one.
Outside of the short thing, the left-handed thing bothers me so much. I don't know why. I just having played the position and watched it for so long, the left-handed thing, it just is awkward and it's weird, and you'll never convince me otherwise. It doesn't mean you can't be successful with it, but it muddles things up so much. So that, in addition to the fact that he's small, I didn't get it. I said this on Twitter. I would have been okay if they went Gabriel in round 6, 5, 6, later, just a wild card. Throw as many quarterbacks as the wall. At this point, they've kind of showed us they can't evaluate quarterback talent, right? It's not great. So at this point, throw as much at the wall and see what sticks. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, what they threw at the wall, though, I'm still trying to. All right, who's the starting quarterback week 1?
Oh, it's
who walks into camp as the leader?
We don't have a quarterback kerfuffle, which we've had in previous years. There's a full-blown controversy.
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody on the way in, and they were like, it's going to be Joe Flacco, right? I'm like, he's making $4 million a year. There's nothing stopping Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel from being the quarterback, and you can sell me the case that it's best for the Browns if they get those guys out there this year.
Yeah.
Because these aren't developmental prospects. They're dudes who played 5 years of college football. They are grown-ass men. So the best-case scenario is one of them actually wins the job. Because the worst-case scenario is you go 5-12, and you don't see either Gabriel or Shedeur until week 15, 16, 17.
No, they got to
Wait, when's
play
Deshaun going to play then? I thought Deshaun was going to play 15, 16, 17.
That video, did you see the video that Reflog put out with the Family Guys where they all put their hands in?
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing I've seen on X in a long time.
It was so funny that I was mad I didn't think about it. That's when you know something's funny, when you see it and you're like, that's something I would think about, and he thought about it first, and screw that guy.
That was the funniest. I laughed audibly. I was watching the Cavs game, and I'm just going through my phone, and I was audibly laughing. That was so funny.
Okay, so here's did Shedeur fall, or was he drafted in the right place?
Both.
Ooh.
Both. I think.
Is that a topic for you?
I think he fell.
Feel good?
I think it was both. I think he fell, but then he was appropriately drafted at the right place at the same time. I think that's where, from everything you heard with the whiteboard not being good, with, the interviews being atrocious, that can take your stock and drop it. Even if the film is round 1 or 2, if all that stuff is so bad, then yeah, okay, he's fourth. I think he was probably drafted with everything encompassing, probably drafted right around where he could have, should have been.
Okay, this is exactly how Johnny Manziel should have been treated. Johnny was a second-round talent at best. Shedeur was a second-round talent at best.
A second-round talent with an eighth-round brain.
And then people got around him and said, "You're not special enough to pull the shenanigans you're pulling." And listen, Peterlin and I had a all-time Donnybrook on Friday because Peterlin just believes it's all about Deion. No. Like, that is cover fire for the fact that the kid acted like a jackass in his meetings with teams.
Yeah.
You can't go in and tell teams, hey, this is what you're going to do. So, and listen, the best part about a fifth-round pick is if this dude acts up, he's gone in training camp. Like, there's nothing keeping you. Okay, well, we took it. We saw the value. He's a pain in the ass. Fine. Via con Dios.
What was it? The tweet was 2 years ago that his dad put out about about getting out of the way for the Browns, and if you get drafted,
I think that was 2018.
Was it 18? Okay.
Yeah, but still,
things change.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, especially when your kid goes in the fifth round.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I saw the video where he was like, let me talk to Mr. Barry. Like, so I think the best part about all this is that it humbled Shedeur. Like, I think Shedeur was like, okay. Like, I should have been a first-round pick, but now it's like, okay, now I got to prove these people wrong. Now I got to come in and do the work. Like, that's what Andrew Barry said on his phone call. He's like, hey, this is on you now. Like, don't prove people wrong. Be humble. Get in here and do the work. I think that's probably the best thing that happened to him, not being anointed, hey, you know what, you're the number 2 overall pick. Let's, I
think the thing I struggle with is a kid being humbled.
Yeah.
Like, that's where,
Well, this is where I think it's good that Flacco's in the room. I just don't know how. I mean, Joe Flacco, he's got to walk in and say, okay, Joe Flacco, or he's got even Kenny Pickett. I mean, these guys have been there. They've already been there. He's got to prove something.
2 rings.
And by the way, you look at him and like, this room's only for, when were you drafted? What? I mean, although the Browns will tell you that doesn't matter, right? It's just a matter of being on the list.
I guess my thing is, I've never seen Deion Sanders humbled. The dude's lost toes.
I have once.
The dude got divorced. Like, he still seems to be Deion for me. So like I'm not trying to sins of the father thing, but like that kid's so confident. I don't know that a fall in the draft is going to humble him. I think the NFL might humble him.
Shedeur or Deion.
Shedeur, yeah.
I mean, you have to wonder though if you're Deion sitting there through the first couple rounds, is this my fault? There's no way he didn't. How could you not? I mean, the big topic Friday was, if his last name wasn't Sanders, would he have already been picked? Right?
Probably.
Everywhere I turn, that's what the story was. If his last name wasn't Sanders, would he have already been picked?
He might not have been even a fifth rounder if his last name wasn't Sanders.
I don't know about that.
No, because he probably wouldn't have walked into 4 straight jobs in college football without any sort of competition.
Yeah. I think the thing with Shedeur is that, everybody keeps saying that the tape is a first-round, second-round tape. And that, to me, is the biggest thing. Like, the kid, when he's on the field, can play football. We've seen that. So, like, all you got to do is, when he's on the field, play football. Be that guy. Like, everything that you're talking about with Deion, none of it matters anymore. You got picked by the Browns. This is your team. He said it in his call yesterday. This is the organization that I'm a part of. Nothing else matters. This is the team that took me. I don't care where they took me. Now the work starts now. All the Deion stuff is gone. All the draft stuff is gone. All the legendary stuff is gone. You're now part of the Cleveland Browns, and you got to do everything you can to make it work.
So, roundabout way, I'll finally answer your question. The should drop was about him being a second-round talent. The should plunge was about him. Was about the person and how he attacked this draft strategy and how his camp helped him attack it.
So, in essence, it was a cavalanche? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
It was a
Shavalanche.
That just sounds like something stupid Adam Sandler would say.
So let's go back to the first big whoa was Mason Graham and trading out of the number 2 pick. I wasn't surprised at all. Not at all. And the fact that they were able to stay in the top 6. I don't, until they drafted, and even if I didn't like Gabriel, I saw there was a plan. Like I listened, if you get a chance, go back and listen to Dylan Gabriel's interview with the boys that were covering it on 92.3 The Fan. And, Just trying to remember. There was a point in the interview where I was like, man, this kid is just first class. Like, he gets it. I don't want to say Mensa, but he understood everything that's going on. Now, he's got a lot of things that he's got to overcome to play in Cleveland. We talk about the arm strength. You talk about playing in cold weather. You talk about being a lefty. You talk about all those things. But, like, he had this conversation with Siciliano, and it was hard not to like him. It was hard not to like Dillon Gabriel after listening to that interview.
I just think, like, I wasn't surprised either. Well, no, I actually was surprised. I was surprised on two fronts. One, that they were able to stay in the top 5 and get the future first. But I was surprised. The Browns, for a fair amount of this offseason, have told everyone last year was about that quarterback. And that quarterback is not here anymore. Yeah, he's here. We're paying him, but he's not here anymore. And so if last year was all about the quarterback, this offseason they would have shown more sense of urgency in free agency, trade, and in the draft for win-now moves. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
And so I was happy about it because it was like, oh, they're being realistic. Like, this roster is not the roster they walked into 5 years ago. It's not the roster Deshaun Watson walked into 5 years ago. It has major structural flaws, and 2025 is the poison pill year. That doesn't mean they're not going to win 7 or 8 games. They might end up, because they still have NFL dudes on that roster. And they didn't exactly turn over the roster, so they can still win 7 or 8 games. But yeah, this year is, okay, remember when Sean Payton got hired in Denver?
Yeah.
And he kept Russ the one extra year and started him? And then the entire season, he was jerking him around about money. And the whole point was, we're here to develop all the guys that George and I have drafted the 2 previous years, and you're simply the quarterback today. And that led to the quarterback the second year that Peyton was there, and all of that talent harvest came to fruition, and then you were finally ready to win with a young quarterback. Like, that's what I think 2025 is. I think it's year 1 of a 2-year plan where it's not like they're going to try and suck, because that's not who these guys are, but where it's, all right, this is the bridge to 2026.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think the biggest thing that you said that I agree with is the realistic expectations. Like, I think for the past 3 years, it's just been not realistic. Hope is not a plan. You're hoping Deshaun would be good. You're hoping Deshaun would turn into something. That was never going to happen. He was a pumpkin. You knew it. The mental was gone. The physical was gone. So now it's like, okay, when Jimmy said big swing and a miss, that's a huge point. Okay, we've made the mistake. Now we got to recoup the mistake. Now the plan is, as you said, it's not to win now. I think that's obvious. Like, you just look at the roster. They're not ready to win now, but they're not ready to lose either. So I think that, going into this year, I think Nick's you just hit the nail on the head. You hit it out of the park. That's what you do. I mean, you just crushed it, because I agree 100%. They're going into this year saying, okay, maybe Flacco can be the guy for a little bit. Then we'll see what we have with Shedeur and Dillon. And once we have that planned out, then we can decide, okay, 2026, we're going to go all in on a quarterback. If Drew comes out, or if Arch Manning comes out, or whoever the guy is, be like, okay, this is going to be the year of the guy. Or they say, hey, you know what, we really like what we have in Shedeur and Dillon, or either one. Like, maybe we can go with those guys, and then maybe we can add that first-round wide receiver. Maybe we can add that first-round offensive tackle, something like that.
I don't know if you know this, Hayden. I really like it when people say nice things about me.
Yeah, you might want to get over that.
Yeah, I'm not like a lot of people like that. Like, a lot of people are like, don't say nice things to me. I exclusively like when people say nice things to me.
You crushed it.
All right, so let me go back into the fact that they made the trade on Thursday, right? Normally, when they make a trade, I sit around and I'm like, do we have to be the smartest guy in the room? Can we not just take the number 2 player in this draft? Can we not get a guy that perhaps could be a Hall of Famer? Like, those are all things that should happen when you have a top 5 draft, right? That you have hope that these guys are going to last for at least 5 years. I wasn't upset when they traded the pick. I don't know that I wasn't totally in love with Travis Hunter. I just think Travis Hunter's trying to do something no one's ever done before. And so we're going to have to see how that plays out. But when I saw they got the first-round pick from Jacksonville, I was down with it, because knowing where they were, that they were still in that range of 6, where they said there were 6 to 7, 8 blue chippers there. And let's see what Mason, like, we had the guy on from Michigan, their color analyst, he said, Mason Graham's going to be there for 10 years. You guys made a really, really rock-solid pick. Yeah. It may not be a sexy pick, but you got a guy that's going to be here for a long time and establish himself.
Yeah, I think that you mentioned like just taking the guy. I think that extra first round pick puts you in a great position for a quarterback in 2026 if you want it.
Agree.
If you want it. Like obviously they knew like, okay, this isn't our quarterback draft. Like unless Cam's there, they really love Cam, or they would have taken him at 2, right? Unless Cam's there, we're not going to pick quarterback. So why not get 2 first-round picks next year? Maybe they're 2 kind of middle picks. We use them both to get up to number, where we need to. I don't think Travis Hunter is the kind of player that's going to transform your organization. Like, I think Jacksonville is looking at Travis Hunter as like a transformational player. I don't think he's that. Like, I think Trevor Lawrence is still the problem there, and I don't think they're going to be any good with Trevor Lawrence as the quarterback. I'm just not a Trevor Lawrence guy. So as good as Travis Hunter may be on both sides of the ball, I don't think he's going to be this transformative player that they think he is. I think that's a GM that comes in that wants to make a splash, makes a splash, say, hey, this is who I am. And I think Andrew Berry did exactly what he needed to do. So was I in love with the Mason Graham pick? No, but
tell me if this isn't fair. I know you got stuff on this, but like I keep thinking about Ted Ginn Jr. when I think about Travis Hunter. He's like the comparison in my mind. If he's better than Ted Ginn Jr., then maybe we made a big mistake. But if he's, Teddy's a great football player.
I listen. I think Travis is a really great football player. I'm not sold on him being a superstar in the NFL for a myriad of reasons. Like he's an average size wide receiver. He's a little bit below weight for a cornerback in today's NFL, and like he's a really special talent. But he's really only worth the number 2 pick if he plays both ways.
Yeah.
If you look at it, wide receivers and cornerbacks, I mean, Jamar Chase was the 5th pick. Marvin Harrison Jr. was the 4th pick. Those were the highest picks that you had. But to me, like, I could give a rip what Travis Hunter does as long as the Browns take care of business.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of people that are going to be on Travis Hunter. You know it as well as I do. They're going to be calling the show every week. Hey, let me give you the Travis Hunter stats.
And listen, the only stat that matters for Mason Graham is how many sacks he has.
Right.
So it's not the same as like, Travis can do touchdowns, yardage, rushing yards, interceptions,
I'll disagree with you
yardage.
on that. The only stat that matters that Mason Graham has is how many sacks Myles Garrett has.
That's fair. That's fair. But listen, you said you're not a big fan of the Mason Garrett. I love the Mason Graham pick. That dude is a bad mamma jamma. They need dudes who work hard, who play hard, who play smart, and who just go out there and who are not about anything but football. They've got so many good dudes, but who want to be everything beyond just being a football player. Mason Graham, I don't know. I think he just wakes up, goes in footballs, comes home, and sleeps. And that was the thing I liked about Travis Hunter.
Doesn't that smell like Joe Thomas? Same thing.
No,
right?
And this dude, I don't know how people watched Ohio State Michigan games the last 2 years.
Oh yeah, he dominated.
Didn't watch this. He was the best player on the field.
He dominated.
On a field with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
On a field with like 50 future NFL players. He was the guy that was taking over games.
Yeah.
And people talked about this guy like he was filthy Phil Taylor. It's like, guys, I love Big Phil. I've stood next to him. The man scares me a little bit. But like, this is a blue chip prospect. It doesn't matter that he's not a generational prospect. Like, he is fully deserving of being a top 3, top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Honestly, if the Browns, if there had been more shine on him in the draft prospect, he would have been an absolutely defensible number 2 pick, let alone a number 5 pick.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said I wasn't a fan of it. I just it just wasn't the most exciting thing to me.
It's not a sexy pick
no,
in any way.
Exactly.
It's a defensive tackle,
right.
yeah.
I know. I am a fan of the pick. Like, I think he will help, but it just wasn't like, oh yes, we got Mason Graham. Like, it's like, okay, good. Like, good.
But that is how I was.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, we got one.
So when we went into day 2, I was really excited because I thought that we were either going to take Quinshon Judkins or Travion Henderson.
Yep.
And I was leaning more towards Henderson. I just think he's a little bit more of a AFC North type running back, just because he's a little bigger and he can catch the ball a little bit better than Judkins. But Judkins has that speed burst that I don't think Travion has. The thing that I love about it was that both those guys had played together and they took a lot of work from each other, meaning that they're going to be fresher going into this rookie year. I still wonder what the running back situation is. I still wonder if Nick Chubb's going to sign in the next couple days with us. I could see it happening. I mean, they drafted 2. What's the big deal? They're going to probably keep 4 or 5. I could see them bringing Nick back now.
I don't think they will, but I think it's the easiest win you can have with fans. And to me, I've pushed it as fan service. Watch his last 3 games. Nick, I don't know how football people watched his last 3 games and didn't see a much closer to his explosiveness. The first 3 games, he looked cooked. Like he
looked like a guy that was coming back from injury. Is what I thought.
But he didn't break tackles. He didn't have that little shimmy step that he has like Jamal Lewis had.
Yeah.
Watch those last 3 games. The stats are better and his burst is better. So that said, I only bring back Nick Chubb if you're going to start him, because it would be unfair to put Nick Chubb behind Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson, because the second those kids have a bad game, there's the you ain't
But
bleep.
I don't know, the feeling I got yesterday that Sampson's a guy that's probably going to see a lot more special teams than regular game. That was the little bit of the feeling I got yesterday.
I'd be surprised. I think they're thunder and lightning. I think
Yeah.
that might be they did a lot of good stuff in this draft. That might be the best stuff they did. Sampson was a 2nd-round pick. In any other draft, he's a late 2nd, early 3rd-round pick. He reminds me of Alvin Kamara coming out of Tennessee as well.
Yeah,
Well, what do you
think I kind of agree. I think you got thunder and lightning right there. Like, I think they're kind of different backs. But one of the comparisons, which one? Somebody compared him to Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Was it Andrew Berry?
Wait. He compared Dylan?
I don't know which one of them.
because I kind of see more. I see more.
Maybe Judkins.
Quinshon
Yeah, maybe
with
Judkins was Kareem Hunt. So yeah, I mean that the Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb thing worked really well. Well, maybe you got it in Dylan Sampson and Quinshon Judkins. I think with Nick Chubb, it's up to him. Like this, like it's kind of an ego thing. Like, okay, like, do I want to come back? I mean, yes, the city loves me, the organization loves me, but like, do I want to come back for pennies on the dollar just to say that I came back? Like, or can I get a legitimately better deal and more playing time other places where I don't have 2 guys breathing down my neck for carries? I don't know.
I'm going to go back to Shedeur Sanders with 10 minutes left. Want to thank our audience of 1. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Anybody that might actually be up, there we go. Audience of 2, 3. Yep. Thank you guys.
And then
4,
all the
5.
people on the
All right,
internet.
there we go. Nice.
We're growing by leaps and bounds here.
Can we go back? This is what it was like to do it during the pandemic. This is what it was like to play football in the pandemic. Going back to Shedeur Sanders, because now I know we have time. Who made the pick? Who made the pick?
You go first.
And by the way, there was no escaping that video. None.
No,
They're never going to be able to walk that back.
Yeah, that's tough.
Whether
I honestly
stinks or sucks, they'll never walk that back.
I honestly feel bad because if that really was just like a moment that was like way past the pick, and it was like,
let's be really honest. If it's any other 5th-round pick, that's the right reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I do feel kind of bad because like I don't think that's an accurate portrayal of what actually happened. Like, they were on the phone. Like, it must have been later. But anyway, you're right. You can't get past that. So you in the moment you're thinking, yeah. I did say yesterday when it happened. I said, did Jimmy Haslam just fire Andrew Berry in front of everybody?
It's the way he looked when he was sitting there, didn't he?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I think when they made that call and they took that shot, all I saw was Jimmy going, if I have to get up and say we took another swing and a miss, you're all fired.
Yeah, that's like my gut reaction. I swear to goodness, my gut reaction when they picked Shedeur, I said, did Jimmy just fire Andrew Berry but just not tell anybody? Like, because it seemed to me like Jimmy was probably mad like everybody else, after the Dylan Gabriel pick and was like, no, this is mine. But at the same time, let's think about it rationally. I really do believe that they do let Andrew Berry. I mean, they've let Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, fight through everything. They've been there for 5 years now, and the results, let's be honest, haven't been that great. Like the playoff win was with a lot of John Dorsey's players. Like, there haven't been a lot of great draft picks, and they've stuck with Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. So I'm going to say it was a collaborative effort. I'm not going to say Jimmy made the pick. I'm going to say it was a collaborative effort. And
I don't think Jimmy made the pick here. I don't know why. This time, I really, the last couple weeks, I feel like Jimmy's learned from early on in his ownership.
Yeah.
And there have been little things that he's done that make me think that he's learned. But at the end of the day, he did sell a hell of a lot of jerseys with that pick.
Put what Kevin Stefanski said on Friday night about Dylan Gabriel up against what Kevin Stefanski said about Shedeur Sanders on Saturday, and tell me they sound similar, because they sure as hell don't. So I'm not saying...
So I didn't hear what Kevin said. Give me
just tonally. Like the in-depth... You could tell Dylan Gabriel excites Kevin Stefanski. Kevin was talking about Shedeur. Like, he was raving about Dylan. He was excited about Dylan. and they can say, it's the end of it's a 3 grueling day process there. No. When Kevin Jones is for a prospect, it seeped through with Dillon Gabriel. It did not seep through with Shedeur. So whether that was an Andrew Berry pick, a Jimmy pick, I don't know that I'll buy in. Anyway, here's the thing. Kevin knows. Kevin was uncomfortable with Baker Mayfield. And Baker was basically like, you're not working as hard as me, and I'm going to call people out because you're not being a good enough leader. Shedeur wants to be the head coach and the GM. So, like, if this dude had problems with Baker Mayfield, vaya con Dios with Shedeur Sanders and Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Also, what have these two done to give you any confidence that they can evaluate quarterbacks? Any.
Or wide receivers.
I mean, Deshaun.
No wide receiver thing bugs me.
They banged the door. They banged the doors down for Deshaun Watson. Got the ownership to, if you want to believe that, got the ownership to agree with the Deshaun Watson thing. The worst trade in NFL history. They loved DTR, who was at very best of a UFL starter. I mean,
that's who I thought of when they drafted Gabriel.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, are you bleeping kidding me?
What confidence do you have in these guys that they can correctly evaluate a quarterback? And like you said, they hated Baker. Why? Because Baker was a little brash. Because Baker had this attitude about him. Well, guess what? Baker, yes, he needed to grow up. Yes, he needed to go through some things. But now he's a guy that, he's a franchise quarterback. Whether he's an elite quarterback, no. But he's a guy that the Buccaneers believe in. There's no reason he couldn't have been that in Cleveland. So now you have a guy in Shedeur Sanders that's, like you said, way more out there than Baker was. And, of course Kevin's going to be excited about Dillon Gabriel because Dillon Gabriel is essentially like bringing in a veteran quarterback. He's been around 3 programs. He's been around for 6 years in college football. He's a pro. But Kevin's probably more excited about that than the on-the-field thing. And, that to me is a problem. Because I think Shedeur Sanders has much more to offer on the field than Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, I think if you asked who right now can win the job of Pickett, Gabriel, and Shedeur, of the 3, nobody young guys, it's Shedeur.
Yeah, I think Shedeur, yeah.
And if Gabriel wins it, the deck is stacked.
Yeah.
You will not convince me that Dillon Gabriel will outplay Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, and Joe Flacco.
No.
You could convince me Shedeur can outplay the other 3 guys.
Right.
All right, so we got 5 minutes left. Let's talk Cavs for a second. All right, I'm actually surprised at how easy this seems to have been going. Especially without Darius yesterday. I didn't think it was going to be difficult, but I thought it might be a little. They ripped their spirit out yesterday.
And
this
the way
thing's
they
over.
did it, Andy, it was the bigs. It was Evan. It was Jarrett. It was DeAndre Hunter. It was a smattering of Ty Jerome. You look at the box score for Donovan. Donovan, not only did he have a quiet night, watch him on the court. He only took over when they needed him. The first 7 or 8 possessions where it was awful basketball, Donovan touched the ball, he would bring it up, and then everybody else would touch the ball. It reminded me of, oh my God, I think it was Greasy Neal. When they first started throwing forward passes, and they were playing the Browns were playing the Eagles in the championship game, and they were the Eagles head coach was they can't beat us without any of that fancy passing, so Paul Brown never threw a pass in the game and just ran the ball down their throat. That's what it felt like last night. Don't have Darius. Donovan's going to sit back, and I think he only took 14 shots. Hunter's going to beat you. The bigs beat the crap out of Miami yesterday.
Miami doesn't have size. They don't have size. That's a great game plan by Kenny Atkinson. I think Davion Mitchell said after the game, they did something totally different than we were expecting.
They were crowding the paint.
Right, crowding the paint.
We didn't know how to overcome it.
Exactly, because they can't overcome it. They don't have any size. So, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley are amazing players, and they did what they needed to do.
How far do they go? You're first.
I'm kind of been a wake me up in the Eastern Conference Finals guy. I watch the games and I'm excited, but I think that they're just so far ahead of these teams. Wake me up in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. All right. Last question.
I'm not going to predict them to go to the finals until they do
They can win that series.
Yeah, they can.
They can beat Boston. They can beat Boston, but I just don't know yet.
They got to play on all cylinders to beat Boston.
Yeah.
They have to play the way they did in that game at Boston where they came back.
Yeah.
But they can't sit down early. Boston's not going to give you a chance to come back.
No.
There's no way.
Ty Jerome's
They're
got to
too
be Ty
good.
Jerome.
All right, last question. Let's go. Guardians, your thoughts on the beginning of the season?
I'm actually really encouraged. I think the offense is for real. And so I think it's so much easier to fix that where the staff is right now and where the rotation is. I think that's a quicker fix than if you had to fix the lineup. So I'm really encouraged. I think they might. I don't think they might just win the series. They might have enough offense to like go the whole way this year.
Wow. I don't know about only going the whole way, but I think they can win their division for sure. Like, I think that it was overblown last year. Like, we lost Josh Naylor. Like, I think Manzardo's been great. I think, I think he's right that the rotation can get better. I'm excited. I hope Shane comes back at some point.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be a huge boost. Like, maybe it's midseason. So I think, I'm excited. I think they just play good baseball. They're very fundamental. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're aggressive. I just think the guards ball way of playing is going to win them a lot of games.
I think Arias and Manzardo's pop is the thing that could be the difference. Arias might be a 25 home run hitter.
Manzardo just looks like he's a little bit on the snide. When he gets hits, they're gigantic.
Yep.
But
I'm worried about the bullpen.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I'm worried about the bullpen.
That's fair.
Because
you should be every year. You should be worried about bullpen.
Because I follow some like other divisional people like Twins and Tigers, and they're like, well, yeah, because you like last year you just like no bullpen operates the way you guys did last year. You just threw them to the wolves and they just ate every time. But now, like, I think you're starting to see with Clase, like there may be a regression here that they've just been pitching so much. You see it like Kate Smith got the save yesterday, but like, it's going to be a little herky-jerky.
All right, we got to wrap. Hayden, what's next for you? What do you got going on?
I'm just singing away, man. Find my schedule at haydenfrankgrove.com/events, and I'm listening to a lot of Nick and JP on the radio, and a lot of Andy and Jeff on the radio, and a lot of Ken and Anthony in the morning.
All right, we need a theme song for our show. I'm tasking you. It's already been done. Never mind. And I need you to stop making fun of our show.
Yeah,
I'm not making fun of our show.
What? I make fun of everybody's show.
All right,
Can you imagine what it's like to have to live with me, with JP?
You'll be throwing out the first pitch at a Little League game this week? That's next for you?
I've been told that the Little Leaguers don't want me anymore.
This is true.
Apparently, I shook hers too much.
That's not what I heard.
Wow.
I heard you crushed it after the game. They were looking for they all get soda and donuts after the game. I heard you crushed it.
Nobody throws a harder 48-mile-an-hour fastball than this guy.
Thank you. Thank you, Independence.
Thank you, guys.